Welcome back, everyone. Today's video, we're going to be covering gold in this beautiful trade that actually gave us 114 pips profit, and all of our VIP students were able to profit. If you want to trade live with me and my students every day, make sure you click the link below in the video description, and let's get started with this video. I'm going to give you guys the exact breakdown of how I was able to find this beautiful setup. And in fact, to be honest, we actually saw manipulation happen after 8:30 open. But with that being said, let's just dive right in, guys. Okay, so first and foremost, you guys, as you can see, this is basically the setup that I saw. I saw that the market had given us basically a manipulation. So you basically saw that we had a beautiful break of structure to the downside here, rejecting this major level of structure. However, price ended up pulling back. So we saw here around this time, which was around 8:30, we saw the market pull back, which a lot of people tend to get in around this area here because they see the nice rejection, right? But this is where I was waiting for the market to take out this liquidity here. So market took out this liquidity at these highs, and then we saw a beautiful rejection. So what had happened is we had formed this area here. There's obviously liquidity here. And so I was like, okay, you know what? One or two things could happen. Either we get a break here, wait for the retest, and then we look for continuation of buys because that was at a major area of structure, or we're going to see the market close back in here, and then we'll probably see the market continue to either retest it and continue to go down further. So we didn't get quite the retest, and this is kind of where we got. You can see we have the entry right here. We actually entered right over here. This is when I sent the signal over to my VIP students, and we actually got in right at this exact level. I saw that the market on the 5-minute was pushing very, very bearish aggressively. And it had also, I went down to the smaller time frame, like the 3-minute, and I had seen it had closed below this low. So the fact that we had that closure below the low kind of gave me a lot more confidence to be like, you know what, I'm going to enter here aggressively instead of waiting for a retest. I'm like, worst case scenario, we got the market to retest this area of structure. And again, keeping in mind that this is a major zone, we get the retest of this area, and then we'll probably see it melt. But sometimes we don't get this retest, guys, and that's why it's important to understand that sometimes the market won't give us the retest, and sometimes we'll miss out on massive opportunities. And so that's why I got in. I was like, you know what, I'm going to send this out to my students. And so VIP was able to profit from this nicely. And so, like I said, we saw one or two things. We saw a beautiful break of structure. Okay, we saw multiple areas here where market respected this as an area of resistance. Okay, this is a higher time frame area of structure. Market gave us a break of structure in the downwards direction, indicating kind of like a precursor. This is where I want to go. Then we waited for the market to either give us a retest of this area and reject it. But on the retest, the market did give us a rejection here. However, I wanted to wait until 8:30, after 8:30, and see what the market was going to do. It gave us a nice rejection here at the zone, but I still wasn't so convinced, to be honest, because it wasn't, how do I explain it? It was a massive rejection, but I wanted to see what the next candle would give me because it was kind of like indecisive. It was like a doji candle, and it wasn't as high up. If it would have given me the doji up here, then I would have been more confident. But we're talking about like here, guys, is about 40 pips, right? So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to be, if I'm selling, I want to enter either at the highest point possible or at a guaranteed point where it's for sure like the momentum's super bearish, right? But the momentum wasn't bearish within this zone. Sorry, guys, if it doesn't look as clear there, but the momentum here wasn't really bearish. It was just very indecisive, right? So I was like, okay, one of two things. It needed to go higher and then see a rejection at this area at a higher point, so at a premium price, or you most likely the market's going to grab more deeper liquidity, right? Knock out this liquidity area here and then give us a pushback down. Once I had that closure below here on the smaller time frame, like the 3-minute, then that gave me enough confidence to just aggressively get in on the sells. And then as you can see right here, we actually ended up dropping about 114 pips. So that was a beautiful win for our VIP members, guys. Now, let's kind of take things a bit back because you're probably wondering, okay, like what's so important at this level? So let's go back up to the 4-hour. I'm going to show you exactly what I saw here. So if you actually look at the 4-hour, you guys are probably wondering, what is this SMA? So this is an SMA, okay? It's a simple moving average. And this SMA is actually the 50, okay? So one thing I noticed was a shift of structure. So the SMA or EMAs or whatever you want to call them, they can be helpful just to kind of understand overall structure. But overall, as long as you understand price action, you don't really need these indicators. I already saw we had a clear break of structure. Like, you know, the market was trending to the upside, creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. On gold, we got a break. Typically, I like to see a nice pullback around this area here for us to continue going down further, in which most likely there could be still a probability that we could still pull back a little bit deeper before we go down lower, right? We always want to be selling at a premium and buying at a discount. So something to keep in mind as well with that. But one thing that I had noticed was that we were bearish. So overall structure was bearish. We created a lower low, a lower high, lower low, and the market was just kind of stuck within this range here. So overall though, the structure was telling me that we had broken this upwards trend and that we were looking for sell structure, sell setups, right? So that to me gave me a lot more confidence to be like, okay, if the market is bearish on the 4-hour, most likely anything on the smaller time frame is going to continue that bearish momentum. Now, obviously on the 1-hour time frame, we were still technically stuck within this range. So what do we do within a range? Technically within a range, we want to stay out or look for a break outside of the range or inside of the outside of the range, either to the upside or to the downside, or we're looking for the market to give us some sort of a rejection within the resistance area, so the highs of the range or the lows of the range. And so where were we within this 1-hour range? Pretty obvious. We were actually within, and obviously this didn't exist here, guys. So if we actually take this off, it looked like this, right? And obviously it didn't have the big bearish candle. That was when we actually got in. But I noticed that the 1-hour time frame gave us a nice 1-hour candle closure. And guess what? It actually closed and rejected this 1-hour resistance. So not only was this a 1-hour resistance, but it was also a 4-hour resistance area as well too. So this to me gave me a lot more confidence. I'm like, you know what? My EMA is on top. We have a major resistance area at this zone. We have liquidity taken on the smaller time frame, because liquidity is not going to be taken on the higher time frames as often. But on the smaller time frames, like the 5-minute and the 15-minute, it's going to be a lot more frequent where the market's going to grab liquidity before it actually ends up going in the direction it wants to go, right? So that's something to keep in mind as well, team, right? You got to keep that in mind, that most likely the market will take its liquidity on the smaller time frame. You won't see it as often on the 1-hour or the 30-minute or the 4-hour, right? But it does happen, right? And so then I was like, okay, we're still trending to the upside on the 15. I narrowed it down to the 5, and I was like, you know what? Market already gave us a break of structure to the downside here, indicating kind of the actual true direction it wants to go. Let's see if the market needs deeper liquidity before it gives us a nice push to the actual true direction it wants to go, and actually respecting this resistance area. Because remember, keep in the back of your mind, the 1-hour, what did it do? The 1-hour gave us the closure we were looking for. So if we go back here, right? And I replay this here. This is the 1-hour time frame, guys, by the way. And I replay this here. If you see this 1-hour closure like this and it closed like that, yes, ideally, personally, guys, I would have liked a doji, or I would have liked something, you know, not as strong. It still closed bullish, but it respected this area, because you know, if the market wasn't this, like, it could have just closed like this bullish, and that to me would have been like, all right, just wait for a pullback and then we're looking for buys, right? But we didn't actually get that. The market actually did close bullish, but it did still respect this resistance area. And I'm like, well, this is an important area of structure. It's a major area of resistance. So I'm like, most likely the next candle will come up, form a wick high, and then come down lower. And then if you actually play this out, obviously the market did give us a little bit, it formed a little wick high and ended up dropping to the downside, right? Obviously after that, if it went up, that's cool. I think now that we got that closure here, there's a higher probability we could see a deeper push back up to the upside. But again, we're not in the right trading time. It's already 1 p.m. today. So, but this was a beautiful win, guys. If you found this helpful in any way possible, let me know in the comments below, guys. If you guys want more videos like this, let me know in the comments as well. I look forward to sharing with you guys more and more content like this. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys also follow me on my Instagram. My Instagram is ThisIsPedroFX. Again, that is my official Instagram page. It is verified, so that's how you know it. If you guys or anything like that, there's a lot of scams out there and stuff like that. I will never ask for you to invest in anything, any crypto, none of that, right? So the only things that I have to offer, my mentorship, and in the video description, in the link, so on my website, that's all I offer, guys. I'll never reach out to you first or offer you any services or trading for you or all that type of stuff. Okay, so just stay safe out there, guys. I appreciate you all. We're almost at 7,500 members, which we're getting close to the 8,000, guys. Just crazy how fast and how big our family is growing, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.